terrifying place for me was a couple of months ago when I did this at a Wharton event. I was like, okay, I've done this at social events, I've done this all over. This is like a work event, this is corporate, this is like straight-laced. And everybody loved it. And I think it added more energy to our session, and it added more energy to our time together. And the reason why I do that is because as a young child, many times you have people telling you, you can do it. You're somebody. You can be anybody you want to be. You can do anything you want to do. But as you get older and older, there are less and less people telling you that. And matter of fact, there are more and more people telling you, do you think that's a good idea? Do you think that's really what you should do? Do you think you really have what it takes? And a lot of people, especially in highly competitive situations, who will try to get into your mind and tell you that you can't. But I think it is very important for us to believe that we are somebody and that we can succeed. And many days I've had times where I didn't feel like I was anybody. And I had to look in the mirror and say, I am somebody. I can succeed. And sometimes that's all that you need to know that you believe that you can succeed. So when I tell my story, it's usually split into two halves. As a young person, I had a great opportunity to be in front of a lot of people a lot of times. And I would always talk about my life as a young person. And I would talk about how I grew up, my family situation, how everything was structured, and some of the things that I was doing at that time. And as I got older, I stopped telling that story. And I began telling the story basically after high school, what my adult life has been about. Well, today, I would like to mix the two just a little bit so that you can get a better picture of who I am, where I come from, and why I think it is important for me to be here. But I also think there are some things that you can take from my story that might influence some of the things that you are thinking about and that you are pursuing in your own lives. So as a young person and as an older person, there's one central theme that has run through my life. It has been that number one, struggling to believe that I am somebody, and number two, the theme of poverty. And so I'm actually going to switch it up a little bit different than what Kafaya talked about. I'm going to weave in a couple of my pieces in the middle of my story so that you can get a better understanding. So, $4 ain't no money on that tank no more. You better get your butt up and hit the dough. We do it how we do it, baby, that's for sure. Cause $4 ain't no money on that tank no more. $4 ain't no money on that tank no more. You better get your butt up and hit the dough. We do it how we do it, baby, that's for sure. Cause $4 ain't no money on that tank no more. I never was the richest, nor the wisest, nor the dopest. Always was the ugly one, the dumbest, and the brokest. But I rose above my status when my friends started to notice that Ill got something that we ain't got, even though he the poet's. Flipped the situation around and then it exploded. Money ain't the answer to everything, and you know it. Freshman year, my buddies was walking while I was rolling. But my Illmobile ain't nothing compared to what they were showing. They both the tightest gear and their pockets were always swollen. Kept the honeys tripping off all the money they blowing. We kept the conversation to minimum when we're rolling. I'ma get some help on that petrol or y'all ain't going. $4 ain't no money on that tank no more. You better get your butt up and hit the dough. Now we do it how we do it, baby, that's for sure. Cause $4 ain't no money on that tank no more. If I had a dime for every single time they joan, then I would have enough to pay the mortgage on the home. No house we own, we rent to make ends meet. I had to get a loan to pay the bills for the week. When everybody sleep, I sneak to get a treat. But some days of the week, we had no food to eat. Though the fridge was slim, it kept me humble in the flesh. Cause blessed are those who hunger and thirst for righteousness. No stress, I guess. I was blessed, it made me strong. It never bothered me that poverty was going on. God is still providing, and it told me that in songs, you ain't got to have money to be one of God's own, cause $4 ain't no money on that tank no more. Get your butt up and hit the dough. We do it how we do it, baby, that's for sure. $4 ain't no money on that tank no more. I remember the first time I asked my father, my stepfather, asked him, are we poor? And he took a pause to really think about where in the world did that question come from? Why are you asking me this? Did somebody tell you this? And he said, no. And if there is any time that I ever think my father lied to me, I think he lied to me that day. Because we were not necessarily poor as in that we didn't have a house to live in, but we were poor in that we never moved forward. From a young man all the way through high school, we never moved forward. I don't ever remember my parents taking me to go Christmas shopping, school shopping, any shopping. We never moved forward. It was always just having just enough to survive. When I got to high school, I had a decision to make. I had to make